I'm Sarah and you're watching Acid Burn Say It. I'm sorry I've been gone for a while. Life just got in the way. So yeah, this is my April reading wrap up. This is what I read in April. I did Realmathon, which is a readathon in the month of April that put me in such... I'm not sure if it was a reading slump or what it put me in, but I think I read so much this month that I felt so just, after it. So Realmathon, I will put the link in the description, and it is basically you join teams and you all go up against each other and there's a winner at the end. And unfortunately we didn't win, but I've read the most books that I've read in my life in a month, so let's get on with it. I have a blueberry milkshake, so we'll see. Yeah, I thought I'm just gonna get this video done. That's why I've got no makeup on or anything. I'm just like, let's get this done. So please ignore the mess behind me and I'll drink my milkshake. It is blueberry and it's from a local farm, a local dairy farm that's not too far from here. So yeah. I can actually sort of see the blue tinge. It's so weird. It tastes like a yogurt. It's so weird. Anyway, on to the books. So in April, which is ages away because this is now June, I read 12 books. The first one that I read was The Wedding Crashers by Sosa. This was one of the team leaders, the realm leaders of Realmathon's pick, their mentor pick, one of their favourite books. So I read this. It wasn't very long, truthfully. I borrowed it from the library. It's about a girl whose cousins, I think it's her cousin, and she ends up working a wedding. And in the wedding, she then bumps into and sees the bride making out with someone else who is not the groom. And so she tells the groom that, listen, your fiance, your soon-to-be wife, has been making out with with one of the groomsmen, and so the wedding doesn't happen, and they end up fake. I think it's fake dating because to each get better in their... She wants it for her life and he needs it for his professional career to become better in his professional career. It was a nice enough story. I think I sped through it quite an awful lot just to get it over with. But yeah, it was a nice enough story. Number 2 was Dear Dolly, which is a non-fiction book by Dolly Alderton. She is a Sunday Times columnist who posts an article every week in the Sunday Times, and she's an agony aunt, which is just basically answering readers' questions and helping them. And Dear Dolly is some of the best ones that she has written, and I really enjoyed it. This is the first Dolly Alderton book that I have read myself, and I know Rachel Catherine, she has read Dolly Alderton's book, and a few others have read her book, so I would like to. This was a wee short one, and I really enjoyed it. I will definitely be checking out her books from now on. Number 3, I can't believe I only read this in April, and that is Daughter of the Moon Goddess by Lynn Tan, and this is a fantasy retelling, a YA fantasy retelling, and it is about the daughter of the moon goddess, and I really enjoyed this. I mean, I can't remember if I gave it a 4 or 5 star, but it is so good. It is worth the hype. Anyone who hypes it up, yeah. This was my first fantasy book of the month. I liked that it was a different story that I hadn't heard before, and it was one that I'm not familiar with. And so I was looking at it in a completely blank slate. And so I really, really thoroughly enjoyed it. I thought it was brilliantly written, brilliantly well done. I never really knew what was coming next, which I thoroughly enjoyed. I like not knowing what's what's going to happen. However, it reminded me a bit of the Monkey King, the Legend of the Monkey King series, because they're all in like clouds and like they're floating in clouds, which yeah, which sort of made me laugh. But no, it was brilliantly well done. I highly recommend it. Number 4 was another romance book, and that was Better Than the Movies by Lynn Painter. This was my first Lynn Painter book that I had read, because I haven't read any Lynn Painter book before. Haley Pam raves about this book and loves Lynn Painter, so I went into it blind and didn't know much about it. It is a romance. I think it's a YA romance that is set. I thought it was going to be set that they were going to be adults, but they weren't. It is set in high school, and that I think really put a downer on it for me, because it was set in high school and I thought it was going to be a bit more than a high school romance. But I did enjoy it, and I did get all the references, and I liked the references, and we definitely seemed to be the same age and everything. But I would have preferred it for a bit older audience. No, I mean, I enjoyed it and everything, but it did feel a bit too young for me. Number 5 was another of the mentors from Realmathons recommends, and that was Wrong Place, Wrong Time by Gillan McAllister. This is a fantasy thriller, and could be actually, you know what, it's probably more science fiction than it is thriller. And it is about a mother who witnesses her son murdering someone. And I went into this blind. I knew nothing about this. I knew it was in our charts and in the book charts in work. It was copies in the library. So this is about a mother who watches her son murder someone, and she is so confused as to why he murdered this random person. And all of a sudden she wakes up the next day, and it's the day before, and she keeps going to sleep and waking up, and it's like the day before. She's going back in time, and it shows why it happened. So yeah, it was very well done. It was something different that I hadn't read before, so that's always enjoyable whenever it's something different. I don't like Groundhog Days, and it didn't feel like that, which was a nice change, because I don't like Groundhog Day books. I don't like Groundhog Day TV episodes and all that. I don't like it. I think it's lazy writing, but Number 6, I cheated a little bit and read The Tales of Beedle the Bard by J.K. Rowling. Oops. And if you don't know, The Tales of Beedle the Bard appears in I think it's the last Harry Potter book, the Deathly Hallows. It is quoted from, and it was a book that was done for charity, and it was the tales that were in the book, and the most famous of it is the tales of the 3 brothers who meet death during it, and it was really enjoyable. It was because I don't think I'd read it before, so I think I'd read the brothers before because of Harry Potter. I'd read the Tales of the Brother, but I hadn't read the others, and so yeah, it was a nice number 7. It was another romance that I think I read because it was nice and short and sweet, and it was like, let's get as many books read this month as I can, and that is The Wrong Suitcase by Laura James Williams. And in this, it is about 2 different people that are going to a wedding, and I think it's the hotel. I can't remember if it's the hotel that messes up or it is the airport that messes up. I think it's the hotel, and they end up with the wrong suitcase, and they realise after they open it. And it was quite funny in some places because one of them is meant to be, I can't remember if he's a best man, but I know he's giving a speech and he has no suit whatsoever. And yeah, so he ends up having to give his speech in like khaki shorts and like a shirt that he's borrowed from someone else, so he looks like so weird. Because it's a romance, of course, the people who have suitcases swapped, of course, get together. Spoiler alert on that. but it's a romance, so clearly, of course, that was going to get together. Number 8 was It's Not the Summer Without You by Jenny Han. And this was the conclusion to the Summer I Turned Pretty series. I read a lot of this down at Grimsport Beach, and it feels like that, sort of like reading it by the beach and just enjoying it. It was a summer read that I read in April. This book, I like the fact that it did jump ahead. It is not set, it's set in her college years. I can't remember if it's at the end of her college years, but it's definitely in her college years. And it is the conclusion to what happens. So yeah, it was really enjoyable, and I was happy with who she ended up with in the end. But I do like both Jeremiah and Conrad, so I can't make any, you know, I would have been happy with whoever she chose. But I do feel like one of the characters, they definitely changed him and made it realise that, oh, they aren't right for each other. Number 9 is A Curse So Dark and Lonely, that I read the first one, and I have bought the second and third one, and I need to read. I mean, it's June, I have not read the other ones. I'll probably wait till winter because it feels very wintry. It doesn't feel like summer reads. So this is a Beauty and the Beast retelling, which I'm sure everyone else has read, and I'm the last to read. So this is a romance fantasy, and this is where the Beast, he takes girls and they stay with him for a season, and he has to get them to fall in love with him and see past his beast facade. And in this one, for his last season, he picks a girl with cerebral palsy, which I actually was very, very happy to see disabled representation in a YA fantasy book. And yeah, I really enjoyed it. I really liked the characters. Harper, who is our Belle, was a tiny bit annoying, and it took me a bit to get into it, but I enjoyed it, and I definitely am excited to carry on with this series. But I think I will be waiting until winter to read it because it feels sort of fall-y and wintry and like a wintry vibe, so I will be reading it then. Number 10 is Fahrenheit 451 by Bradbury, and this is about a dystopian novel that is about a firefighter, and the firefighters in this book don't stop fires, they set them, and it's all about burning books and burning people's houses down that are harbouring books. And in this, it is about it's political control gone a bit, political correctness gone a bit too far. And in this, it is about books that offend people are just destroyed. So people don't have books anymore, and the past can be rewritten, everything, because there's nothing written there in front of you on paper to prove anything. So how can you prove anything? So yes, so that's what that's about, and it was written in like the 50s. I think it was the 50s or 60s, and it is, you know, you have your TV that tells you everything, and you have a little device in your ear that talks to you and everything. So yeah, very interesting. The next book is Heart of the Sun Warrior by Lynn, which is the sequel to Daughter of the Moon Goddess. And I really loved this one. This one really made me sob. I cried so much during this one, and I loved it. It carries on. It is the sequel, so it carries on, and it's meant to be a duology, but I've heard whispers of a third book, so it'll be interesting to see. But yeah, I really enjoyed this, and I'm not sure if I enjoyed it more than the first one. I did enjoy the first one, but I enjoyed the ending. The ending just made me cry so much. These books were very, very good. I thoroughly enjoyed both of them. So yeah, so the 12th book that I read this month was Queen of Shadows by Sarah J Maas, which carries on with the Throne of Glass series. So that is my April wrap up. I'm sorry it took me so long to film this and thus to edit it. I don't know what she's doing right now. Gonna run away. Yeah, she's running away. Yeah, so me and my blueberry milk will wish you well. Enjoy your afternoon, and thank you for watching. And if you enjoyed this video, please like, and if you want more of my content, please subscribe. And yeah, enjoy. Cheers.